All right, so this is the empowerment video. Now, I call it the empowerment video because I've got a few tools I want to share with you that are really going to help you as you're moving through this class. Now, we'll probably be talking about them because they're sort of basic tools that, that we got to know in life. And they're the tools that when I learned them, I literally was like, why didn't somebody teach me this in kindergarten? It would have made my whole life a lot easier. So I'm just going to go over them now so you've got a basis of where we're functioning from, so you know sort of what I'm talking about as we're facilitating these things, or if I ask you about them later. So the first one is the truth will make you feel light, lies will make you feel heavy. The truth will make you feel light and expanded. Lies will be heavy and contracted. Okay, so if somebody says something not so kind about you, is that light and like, yay? Or is it like, oh, do you go like that? Okay, so that means it's a lie. Okay, so we run around in our lives thinking that this heaviness is stuff we have to do stuff with, that we have to fix it, we have to change it, we have to make sure nobody thinks heavy things about us or whatever, right? But the truth is that it's all lies, and there's actually nothing for us to do with them except acknowledge that that's actually just not true. So I'm going to do a couple clearings in here. So these might be your first access consciousness clearing statements if you haven't had any access yet. So everywhere you've bought the heaviness as what you need to focus on and what is true, will you destroy and uncreate all that, please? Yeah, good, bad, right, wrong, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And sometimes I say the clearing statement kind of fast. So that's the clearing statement. And all you have to do is just acknowledge and say, yeah, I want to clear that. Okay. And then we'll say the clearing statement, and then the energy, some people can feel in their bodies the energy shifting, and other times it's just like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. So the truth is light for you and lies are heavy. This is where we're empowering you to know what you know, so you don't have to count on anybody else to know for you, right? And when we're starting to empower you with this is very important as we're going through the Art of Living Crazy Possible, because we're tapping into what you would like your life to be like. Not what your parents would like, not what your spouses would like, not what you think you should want, but what is the thing that's actually light and expansive for you? What's that life like? Okay, so when I ask, like, is it light or heavy? This is what I'm asking. Is it light and expansive, or is it heavy and contractive? Sometimes, like, if somebody says something to me, and you might see this on the videos, somebody says something to me that's heavy, you'll see this face. And it's automatic. And it just shows up, and that's kind of a signal for me in my world that there's a heavy energy there. Other people might get a little bit of gas. Other people might get a little itchy. Some people might start yawning, might get a furrowed brow, like if something's heavy. And if something's light, somebody might be giggling or just smile, or you just might go, oh God, that's so much better, right? So that's like the difference between light and heavy. Now, everybody's is different too. So you might have even more different things in there with your light and heavy, okay? But a lot of times I'm going to ask you, is this light or heavy, right? And when we're doing the exercises for creating your future, we're looking at a lot of things that you're choosing right now, and a lot of things that you've chosen in the past, that we're going to be asking, truth, is that light or heavy? Is that contributing? Is it expansive, or is it not? And you're going to want to look at this. Now, here's the cool thing. If this is your first time looking at light and heavy, no problem. This is a muscle to build that will take some time to start to build it. Now, you already have awarenesses. The question is how much have you been paying attention to them? Okay, so everywhere you want to judge yourself for not being advanced enough or not being aware enough or whatever, you just destroy and uncreate all that. Great, good, bad, right, wrong, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so the next tool is, who does this belong to? So like 98% of our thoughts, our feelings, and our emotions are not ours. Okay, we are like little psychic sponges, and we're picking up on stuff all the time, except nobody told us that that's the capacity that we have, right? Now, if you're an empath and if you've already done some of this work, you already know this. You already know that you pick up energies from somebody else, or not just one person, but lots of people, right? And if you have ever walked into a room, like the classic example, and there's a fight going on, or people are mad at each other, and you walk in and all of a sudden you get that like, oh, something's going on here energy, That's what we're talking about. But when we don't actually know what to do with it or how to differentiate what's ours and what's someone else's, then pretty much everything in our head is ours. And that's what I used to think too, is if it's in my head, of course it's got to be mine, right? Not true at all. If it's in your head, if it's in your body, it doesn't actually mean it's yours. And literally 98% of the stuff that's in your head, it's in your body. Choices you've been making, decisions you've made, beliefs you have might not be yours. Okay. Now, I'll be asking this a lot throughout the whole class, because what we want to do is get to the space where you start to go, wait a second, is this even mine? Because if it's not yours, you can't change it. So do you have anything that you've been trying to change for a long time? Yeah. What if it's not yours? Okay. Because those things that seem unchangeable might not be yours. You can't change something that's not yours. Okay. Why? Because you didn't create it. You just picked it up. It's like you picked up somebody else's backpack full of rocks and you're like, I don't know why I'm so heavy. And because you didn't realize you picked up this backpack full of rocks, and all you have to do is set the backpack down. So what we do is we just ask, who does this belong to, me or someone else? And then you just get which one makes you feel more expanded, lighter, right? Me or someone else. And if it's someone else, it's like, that's not mine. All you have to do is say, return to sender with consciousness. Return to sender with consciousness. And I like to just imagine all of those energies just flowing right back to them. Now, I always get asked this, like, is it sending daggers back to them? Is it going to hurt them? No, it's not. Why? Because you actually didn't take it from them. You just duplicated it from them. Or it was like a radio tower and you just picked up their signal. So what you're doing is you're just shedding the light of consciousness to say, hey, that's not mine. And when you do that, it goes, oh, I don't belong here. And it can actually go back to where it came from. So you're not sending anybody bad energy or anything like that. It's just not yours anymore. Okay. So I'll be asking you guys probably a lot, who does that belong to? Is it even yours, or is it someone else's? Okay. And just remember that 98% or more of stuff actually isn't yours. Okay. All right. So, and then the other concept that we're going to be working with, and we're going to start working with this in the beginning, even though we have a whole module on it, which is ask and you shall receive. Because ask and you shall receive is essential in the creation process. And I want to actually get you guys creating right away, not just waiting until like module number 7. Okay. So ask and you shall receive was actually in the Bible, like it was hidden in the Bible. And most people use it incorrectly. Most people use it as conclusions instead of ask, is conclusion and hope and wish, right? So it's like, I want to have a Ferrari or this kind of money or whatever. And then we're hoping and wishing that it's going to show up. But ask and receive is actually about the real question, right? It's like, well, what would it take for a Ferrari to show up? What would it take for me to own my own home? What would it take for me to have a financially thriving business? And when we ask those questions, it's not necessarily about that money that shows up or that Ferrari that shows up. It's actually about the awarenesses that that will start to show up as you are being the question and asking the question, okay? Asking these questions, because you're really asking to the universe. Now, when you're hoping and wishing and concluding, then what's happening is you're really attached to the thing. All I want is this water bottle, and the only thing that will make me happy is this water bottle. Now, that is not ask and receive, okay? What we're going to be facilitating is actually looking at the energies of your life, of what you would like your life to be like, and asking the universe to rearrange so that everything in your life shows up in those energies, right? And so it might not look like you think it will, and usually it doesn't. So if you get really attached to the Ferrari or the water bottle, then it shows up differently. You won't even know that it showed up. You won't even know that what you asked for is right in front of you because you're so attached to this. So we're going to talk about that later, but I just wanted to give you just a basic starting point with ask and receive of being the question, and the awarenesses are one of the most vital things about ask and receive. Now, you're going to also get the 8-minute magic down here, and 8-minute magic is a little document. I created that has a whole bunch of tools and processes and questions with ask and receive, so that you can do it daily if you'd like, to sort of expand your energy, to really step into playing with the molecules, not just the attachments to the water bottle, right? But to playing with the molecules so that your whole reality starts becoming different energies. The energies you'd like to have be your whole life. And that's what we're targeting for. And I'll tell you more about that in the class, okay? But I wanted to give you a quick overview. So there you go. Those are the 3 main tools that I love to use that you guys will become very familiar with if you're not already. All right, I'm super excited you're here, and we'll see you soon.